Thank you. So, introducing our first keynote with Jasper, Head of Research at Outlier Venture. He will be discussing what OpenFi is and giving an introduction.
Cool. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Oh yeah, awesome. It's the green button with the arrow. Yeah, perfect. Thank you for the introduction. So my name is Jasper de Maere. I'm head of research at Outlier Ventures. So for those who don't know us, we are a Web3 accelerator. We work in the space, and open finance is a space we're committed to going forward. So here we are coining the term, but very much a lot of excitement about the space, I think. So the big question, what is OpenFi? I have the honors today to try to explain it to you guys. It is a very fresh and new trend, and a lot of it is still in flux. So we're trying to pin this down as everyone comes together to really drive this trend forward. And I'm sure we'll have many more iterations to come about this trend over the next couple of years. So in short, what is OpenFi trying to do? We're taking the functionality of the traditional financial ecosystem and we're porting it onto an entirely new infrastructure layer, which is marked by your modularity, your ownership. It's very central at all of this, and self-custody is very important. By transferring this functionality, you not only copy the existing, but hopefully we unlock much more functionality for everyone as finance becomes more accessible, easy, more efficient, and overall just a more functional tool in society. To get an understanding of how OpenFi is currently looking, we need to take a look at the existing landscape of the traditional financial system. For the people without a TradFi background, don't stress. We're not going to spend too much time on the right-hand side. It might look very daunting, but this is the existing financial infrastructure. What I want to emphasize is the left side of this presentation slide. And it's the idea where the traditional financial system consists of 3 different layers. If we start at the very bottom, we have the infrastructure layer, which serves as a support layer, and it allows basic operations, security, and functionality. So this is your traditional infrastructure, this is your tech stack, and this is core protocols which make up the infra. In traditional markets, you're looking at your market platforms, your clearing and settlement, your core banking system. This is your infrastructure. The second layer is your asset layer. So that manages the creation, the management, and the regulation of these assets. So the asset layer is there to make sure that assets are transferred in a secure, compliant, and regulated way at a very easy fashion. And finally, we have the orchestration layer. So this ensures smooth interaction and coordination between services. So this makes up the entire tech stack. The next step is understanding how these 3 layers interact and how innovation occurs across them. So for anyone familiar with this concept, it's the idea where tech leads applications and the innovation cycle. So on the y-axis, you have your functionality. So the higher, the more functionality of either the infrastructure or the applications. And on the x-axis, you have time. So generally what happens is you have existing infrastructure on which applications are built until a point where you reach a local maximum. So this is a point where with the existing infrastructure, it's almost impossible to gain incremental functionality. So all the innovation is just shuffling things around, but there's no net innovation. And as a result, new infrastructure, which supports on core new principles, is being developed, after which we take a step back in functionality. Most of the time we deal with more friction, we reset, and we take another stab at a curve with better infrastructure as a whole. So again, the green arrow is your infrastructure upgrade, your infrastructure, and you can see local maximum. To give you guys an example of past movements, take the equity space in the 70s. Traditionally, you had your outcry exchanges, so people literally with paper, I have X% of a company, I'm going to an outcry exchange, and that was the best possible setup of the equity trading market back then. Come the 70s, the NASDAQ came up with the electronic trading system. Initially, all the paper had to migrate onto digital, which caused a lot of friction. No one actually had a clue on how to execute trades in an electronic way. But that was actually the kickoff moment for the equity trading paradigm we have today. Today, we're trading at super high velocity at a fraction of basis points in liquid markets around the world in equities. The foundations of those systems were in the 70s when we moved from paper to the infrastructure. So anyone paying attention, I think you know where I'm going with this. It's this idea where currently we sit on a local maximum. We sit on a local maximum in the existing financial traditional system, and we need to migrate onto this new infrastructure stack, which we've been building for the past 15 years, and now it's really time to migrate on the application layer. That's what OpenFi is about. So again, you have your stack. The traditional financial system is completely centralized. The adoption today is mainly on the infrastructure layer. So your infrastructure layer or your core DeFi protocols, your Oracle solutions, and your blockchains. On the asset layer, we find a mix between centralized and decentralized capabilities, but there's very limited adoption on the orchestration layer if you compare that to, for example, the DeFi layer. The ultimate paradigm we're going to is a decentralized financial system in which the entire three layers become decentralized, and that's exactly what OpenFi is about. So OpenFi is about the orchestration and the asset layer moving from your traditional centralized systems onto your decentralized tech stack, which we've built. Like we have a beautiful DeFi system now that allows peer-to-peer transactions at arguably cheap costs at high velocity. Now it's really time to bring the asset layer and the orchestration layer online as well to offer true functionality to the consumer, like so they can actually use the infrastructure we built, right? Because let's be honest, currently in the DeFi system, there's a lot of wash trading, there's a lot of activity going on, but at the end of the day, net incremental benefits are very limited because the application layer is missing. And that is what OpenFi is about. OpenFi is bringing functionality to DeFi. And again, you base your principles on the modular stack and its ownership reliance. So those are the core principles. So how is this looking currently? So again, you have your traditional financial system and then your decentralized financial system. So this is the entire stack which we have built on the right. Your infrastructure layer, again, is made up of your data oracles, your core DeFi protocols, and your blockchain networks. That's the infra. And then OpenFi, again, your asset layer is like your tokenization protocols, so bringing copies of whatever assets on chain. Privacy is a big element of this as well, is obscuring specific data. Ties back into the infrastructure layer. And at the very top, that's where you have your functionality, right? So you have your consumer services, you have your payments, your save and earns, your investments, your marketplaces, wallets fit in there as well. And a very important element is your KYC and AML to be fully compliant when you're using these modular services. So that all fits within OpenFi. So as of now, as soon as someone speaks about OpenFi in the future, don't mix it up with DeFi. It's a very different thing. OpenFi is about the entire front-end asset and orchestration layer. So what does this actually do? Why are we doing this in the first place? I think that's a very important question to ask. It is about self-custody. If you look at the existing financial system, there's no custody. Like, okay, you give up your custody of your assets. It actually limits the potential benefits you gain from having like a claim of ownership on these assets in the first place. There's account dependence at this point. In OpenFi, you have account independence. It's this idea where as soon as the financial service stops in a specific product, you still have the functionality in your account. So you're not limited by whatever platform on the front end that provides service. A good example here is you have Neobank A, which provides a save and earn product. You have Neobank B, which provides an investment product. In order to use both products, you need two different accounts. That is completely gone with account independence, and that's why KYC AML is also such a big building block of OpenFi. Crypto composability. The reason why everyone is here today is because we have a very big variety of protocols, projects, and companies that are coming together to build all of this in a very modular fashion. So if anything today, spend a lot of time like speaking to each other. What are you building? Understanding how you all fit within this stack. I think that's hugely important. Collaboration is obviously key. DeFi integration on the back end is very simple. We leverage the existing P2P infrastructure. Active funds is something which fits into the narrative of hyper-financialization. So in society, we're increasingly going to financialize all type of assets we have. That's already happening in trends where you see your desocial or your social fi, however you want to call it. That's your social graph, which you're going to financialize. So all of this is going to happen with hyper-financialization, and that's why active funds play into this, where all your assets will net you yield over time. You will be able to squeeze yield out of more and more assets where previously this was not possible. And finally, your enhanced security and privacy, also very important. So I think the key message for today is we've had fintech trends like your open banking, your embedded finance. These have all been local maximums. Let's be honest, these were buzzwords. We've seen a couple of exciting companies on the back of this with very minimal functionality. The reality is we need to migrate onto the new stack. That's what open finance is about. So any fintech vision going forward, it's really about open finance. It's not about open banking. It's not about embedded finance. We need to move on to DLT. We need to move on to the decentralized stack. And I hope that's what we hear all together today to make this happen. So with that, thank you very much.